Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for your time. So, Trackwise Designs PLC. So, we are an established UK manufacturer of products using printed circuit technology. So, we're an established business founded in 1989. Since acquiring Stevenage Circuits in April last year, we have a little north of 100 staff on the 2 sites. Trackwise in Tewkesbury, from where I'm speaking to you today, is the head office and the site from where we're developing and delivering improved harness technology, which is length unlimited multi-layer flex printed circuits, which I'll go on to describe. Stevenage Circuits manufactures and delivers a full suite of advanced printed circuits. We came onto the market in July 2018 and have made massive progress since that date. What I wanted to run through with you today is an update on progress since our last fundraise at the tail end of last year. So in summary, whilst there has been an impact from COVID, trading is in line with our plans. We're focusing on investing for the electric vehicle contract ramp up and delivery. And to this end, we have acquired and very recently announced a new manufacturing site. So a quick run through of the business strategy, which some of you may have seen before. The vision is to be the preeminent interconnect partner to the world's leading innovators, with IHT integral to automotive, particularly electric vehicles, medical, particularly catheters, and aerospace. And that is based on the sustained and sustainable foundation of the supply of advanced printed circuit boards, which are the non-IHT part of the business, including RF, our legacy business. And this foundation has been significantly broadened and strengthened by the acquisition of Stevenage Circuits. So this vision will drive growth, and we'll go on to describe some of the growth that we're doing, and of course to deliver shareholder value. And so I remain the largest shareholder in the business and have some residual skin in the game. So improved harness technology. This is the manufacture of a length unlimited multi-layer flexible printed circuits. This is proprietary patented technology. Improved harness technology, or IHT, has been developed as a replacement for conventional wire harness, with the main benefits or improvements of reducing weight or space. Flexible printed circuits is a proven multi-billion-dollar global business, with application typically limited until IHT by supply chain capabilities to inside a box or equipment, so inside your mobile phone, inside your laptop. The innovation is patented worldwide, as indicated here at the bottom of the slide, and this patent protection, combined with the extensive body of know-how that we built up across the business, represents our key barrier to competitor. And in reality, our principal competitor is no change, in other words, the incumbent technology. By the innovation, by removing any size limit, IHT brings the proven benefits of replacing wire harness with flexible printed circuits to a very new large spectrum of new opportunities, box to box, at fuselage level, at wing level for an aircraft. This is an industry-changing extension to a proven technology. Our very diverse customer base indicates the wide cross-sectorial application of this innovation, but our key sectors, and I'll go on to describe here, electric vehicles, medical catheters, and aerospace. Each one of us offers transformational growth opportunity for the business, but also a natural hedge against each one another. The technology offers a wide range of proven benefits or improvements over conventional wire harness, reduced weight or space, as I've mentioned, improved precision and repeatability, with a machine-intensive manufacturing offer a cost-competitive advantage to typically labor-intensive manufacturing of the incumbent. So the weight reduction opportunity offered by IHT is a key enabler for OEMs to realise their ambitions in rapidly changing markets where carbon reduction is a strategic necessity. So in particular, electric vehicles and aerospace. Electric vehicles have emerged as one of the primary scale-up opportunities for IHT. In 2020, Trackwise announced its first production order for supply of parts into electric vehicles in battery modules and battery packs. The rapid development of growing social and political pressure to move to more sustainable technologies has sort of spurred Trackwise to expedite ways and it can broaden and deepen its relationship with the electric vehicle industry, speaking to a number of key players in the industry. Elsewhere, the adoption of IHT, a key element in the manufacture of medical catheters, I'll talk about in a minute, and this is gathering pace. Aerospace is the market that gave rise to the IHT innovation some years ago, and this remains an important growth area for Trackwise. In August 2019, Trackwise reported a collaboration agreement with GKN Aerospace, and this was a significant milestone in taking the company a step closer towards aerospace production at scale. I'm sure, as you're aware, aerospace qualification is a lengthy process, but the size of the potential end markets means that the future revenue potential for the technology is significant. Aerospace is traditionally conservative when it comes to adoption of new technology, but there's no doubt the impact of COVID-19 has accelerated a move away from older, less efficient and less sustainable aircraft. The industry is still definitely in recovery, but Trackwise is optimistic that demand will increase and more aircraft needed to be built to support it, acting as a pull-through for IHT. The lightweighting and space-saving potential of IHT are key enablers for aerospace, and Trackwise is working on several collaborations with companies developing sustainable flight, which will form a significant contribution to revenues in the future. I think it's just worth summarising again that, or emphasising again, that flexible printed circuits are a proven multi-billion-dollar global industry. All that Trackwise has done is release the previous constraints of this technology to significant new market opportunities. So medical catheters. The adoption of IHT is a key element of the medical catheters has gathered pace. In this instance, rather than the IHT improvement of weight and space that I've mentioned earlier, the benefit offered here is largely ease of manufacture. Instead of the OEM assembling a catheter by means of multiple micro wires, so very, very tiny gauge conventional insulated wires, Trackwise's thin flexible printed circuit boards, each containing multiple connections. These provide a precise, repeatable and more readily handleable means of connection. Trackwise is working with a growing number of catheter manufacturers, both from very large OEMs to technology developers, all of whom are addressing very large market sectors. By way of an example, Trackwise has recently announced a supply agreement with Cathprint, who's a Stockholm-based company with expertise in the development and manufacture of medical device products. A two-way development program is to be followed by 5 years of production. The graph on this slide indicates the very large scale and rapid growth of the US market alone. This multi-billion dollar market has the potential to become a very significant revenue generator for Trackwise. Trackwise announced in September of last year that it has secured a 3-year product manufacturing supply agreement with a UK EV OEM, which is a transformational deal for Trackwise. The OEM is building electric vans and buses, as well as other commercial vehicles. All of these commercial vehicles are based around a common high voltage battery module into which Trackwise is providing 2 key components: a power flex, connecting all of the cells for primary power collection, and a balancing flex, part of the essential battery management system. These are roughly 1 foot square parts manufactured in rolls using our IHT-enabled manufacturing know-how. We're also supplying vehicle-level parts into the bus, with parts of further vehicles under discussion. So, as we announced in September, the supply agreement, the supply contract, is based around a guaranteed minimum volume for the 3 contract years, from which the value of 38 million is derived. The contract does contain standard supply contract terms, which provide for compensation payments if the guaranteed minimum volume is not met, and an annual price revision term. So these scenarios made the lawyers require me to advise that the contract could be worth up to 38 million. However, I think we need to recognise that the contract years of 21 through 23 will see the OEM well underway with their rollout of microfactories globally, and that the OEM demands for these products is likely to be huge, quite possibly far in excess of the guaranteed minimum volumes. Trackwise has worked very hard to develop these products and our capability to manufacture them. The IPR is our customers. Trackwise's DNA is all over these parts, and in our opinion, it's going to take a competitor with a special set of capabilities to be able to make them. Our manufacturing site here in Tewkesbury was always intended to be an engineering-led product development, new product introduction facility. The scale of the contract, the fact of the guaranteed minimum volumes, the wider supply chain opportunities, as well as the need to maintain progress with a myriad of other IHT developments, mean that we needed to move to secure more additional manufacturing capacity. For this reason, we carried out an oversubscribed placement and an open offer in November of last year. So in 21, since that raise, the customer is focused, and the company has focused on establishing the facilities it's going to need to meet these EV contract demands. We announced last week the acquisition of a facility in Stonehouse, Gloucestershire, which is about 20 miles south of here. This new facility has 75,000 square foot of space, more than sufficient for the EV contract production demands. And the new facility will implement a scaled up version of the roll-to-roll manufacturing capability that we have developed and qualified in Tewkesbury, in a setup arranged for high volume, low mix, rather than the low volume, high mix here in Tewkesbury. Acquiring the site provided the most favourable cost structure available for a manufacturing facility in the locality. So the next 6 months will see the capital equipment installed and commissioned, ready to meet the ramp up in electric vehicle volumes expected towards the end of the year. We also announced last week, to prepare for this increase in capacity, Trackwise has appointed a COO, Chief Operating Officer, to lead the installation as well as the operating facilities of the whole company. Steve Hudson, who's come to us from Williams Advanced Engineering, before that Bentley Motors and Rolls-Royce. His automotive and aerospace industry is going to provide invaluable to the company as we grow our capability. So in summary, Trackwise's stated vision is to be the preeminent interconnect partner to the world's leading innovators. COVID has made this a challenging period for all of us, but the acquisition of Stevenage Circuits, the EV contract win, the oversubscribed placement as offer, meant that we made very significant strategic progress in 2020. Our first contract win, as expected in the rapidly emerging sector of electric vehicles, is a transformational one for the business. However, this is far from the end point. We're moving forward well across our three principal market verticals: electric vehicles, medical, catheters, and aerospace, each one of which represents a transformational growth opportunities for the business. In order to deliver against this potential, we have acquired and are investing in our new scale-up facility in Stonehouse, Gloucestershire. We remain confident that with some unique technical capability and know-how, with first mover advantage, we can continue to drive Trackwise forward. And thank you for your support and for your interest today. Thank you.
So first up, is it straightforward to alter the production line to serve multiple EV customers? And how do you see this sector growing?
So those are two separate questions. Yeah. So one of the good things about I think people have always often said to us, how can you possibly serve such three different verticals from the same business? And the good thing about the industry is that really we can use common manufacturing assets to address these verticals. So really the same know-how and capability allows us to make parts for the three verticals. The balance in the new plant is how much we customize it for specific production, and how much we how much we keep it generic, if you like, and we're forming a bit of a balance. So, but fundamentally we're etchers of copper, and so providing that we can coat, image, and etch copper, the production capability that we're implementing should be good to cover a wide range of different customers and applications. With regard to the last part of the question, we see a very rapid acceleration. I think I'm sure you will all have read in the press about various companies' plans to build gigafactories in the UK. So the gigafactories are producing the cells, will be producing the cells. Those are the individual industrial grade torch batteries that are used to make battery modules. Those cells produced in the UK will be built into UK battery modules, will be built into UK battery packs, will be built into UK electric vehicles. And the opportunity that Trackwise has got, and specifically we're gearing up for, is to get between the output of those UK gigafactories and UK electric vehicles. So we see it as a rapidly growing space.
Next up, aerospace. In aerospace usage, will this be on new installations only, or is there an opportunity to retrofit?
The ease of entry is certainly lower. The barriers to entry are certainly lower with new vehicles, and in general that is who we're dealing with. So in general we're dealing with new vehicles.
Okay. Next question, I'll read it out. As an investor in Trackwise, I would like to understand Trackwise's position in regard to three-dimensional printing.
So we are a two-dimensional printer. So one of the design challenges is that we have to manufacture, or we do manufacture in 2D, and our products tend to be used in 3D. But this is one of the reasons that electric vehicles, and specifically the battery modules, are an ideal use case, because the hundreds of individual cells get formed into nice rectangular blocks, which are nice planar items, ideally suited. We're aware of 3D printing, and for some applications, like for example aircraft seats, for example, where there's a complex 3D geometry, there's some pretty interesting innovation happening, not by Trackwise but by allied people, trying to replicate to do 3D printing. That's not our business case.
Okay, I'll put these two together. Have you named the EV manufacturer that you have the contract with? And secondly, is that contract exclusive, or are you discussing with other EV manufacturers in Europe, US, Asia, anywhere else?
The second part is no, there's no exclusivity, and yes, we are supplying to and discussing with numerous others in both electric vehicles, aerospace, and industrial battery applications. No, we haven't named the customer, and so what we have found is that quite a few of our customers, or that certainly they're not the only ones, who want to protect their use of Trackwise and Trackwise innovation from the market. And that's a source of some disappointment to us, because we're very proud of the customers and proud of our relationship, but we respect their right to manage their brand, and also to manage their disclosure of their supply chain. It's something that we continue to go back to them about, but we respect that their right to make that decision.
Next question is about competition and technology. It says the technology is patented, and you say it'd be difficult for other people to enter the market. How strong is the patent? And I guess same sort of question. And could you give a brief synopsis of the competition to Trackwise?
Yeah, it's a good question, and one we've been continuing to ask. So, I think competition is not I could probably talk to you for at least an hour on the matter. So, as I said, as we really think the main competition is the incumbent technology, so no change. So an aeroplane and a car have been wired in fundamentally the same manner for 100 years, and this is really why we are targeting, you know, the world's leading innovators. People are bringing out new models because they're not interested in how stuff has been done for the last 100 years. They want to know how things are going to be done better. Now, in terms of our printed circuit board competitors, there's really just a handful of people on a worldwide basis who have some degree of overlapping capability with Trackwise. We are in the produce of producing a product which is a 70 meter long product, 70 meter long 3-layer product. This is going into the nuclear fusion industry, and I'm certain that there's no other business in the world that could manufacture that. So competition isn't a binary matter, it's a grayscale. In our patented technology, which we've got on a worldwide basis, length unlimited multi-layer printed circuits, which I say this nuclear fusion product is an example. We have, I won't say no competitors, but I don't think anybody else in the world could manufacture. But they slightly vary from product to product and industry to industry. So.
Okay, and by what percentage do you reduce EV or aircraft weight by switching to Trackwise? So
the rough rule of thumb, and this actually comes from a customer testimonial, is a 10 to 20% weight saving for power cables and a 80 to 90% weight reduction for data cables. So depending on your mix of power and data, you can come out at sort of 60–70% of weight, so 60%. So it's a material number, and that's the what people are chasing, and what the interest is from our customers.
I'm not entirely sure about this one, but will a worldwide chip shortage impact you? And if so, how do you respond?
No is the short answer. Possibly indirectly from our customer, but not directly, no.
And similarly on costs, I guess, copper prices are forecast to rise. What impact, if any, does that have on your business?
Yeah, it is. That's a good question. It is an impact, and particularly particularly demand. So not necessarily so much prices, but also lead time. So in our supply chain contract, we have an annual price revision terms which take into account material price movement. So we do try and protect ourselves against it, but we are aware of this cycle.
And the final question is one from me. You showed your 3 primary markets. I was wondering, of the things that are in your secondary market list, things that maybe are in development or aren't quite there yet, what gets you most excited? What's kind of the technologies or applications of tomorrow?
Well, we have one of the real joys about my job is that I do see a very wide range of industries. So say nuclear fusion is a very interesting one. We're also doing some advanced motor windings, which I think is a very cool application for the technology. What else come along? Oil pipeline leak detection. So these are many kilometers of product that's going underneath oil pipelines to detect leaks when they're going across rivers or sites of scientific interest. So there's never a day goes by when there isn't a new application, and we are staying focused on our 3 verticals, but also keeping our minds open to secondary markets, because there are some very interesting and pretty sizable ones there. So.